Oh man, here we are in Little Red. Small, man, small, but I loved when we had Ford Rangers back in the day. So anyway, we're getting ready to leave the house. I gotta turn on some air. Oh yeah, and that's one good thing I noticed about Little Red when I first got it going was the air. I was like, man, does the air work? Yes, it works fantastic. People next door riding motorcycles and all this. We're out here in the country, so I tried to use my phone holder on the windshield, but it just will not stick. It won't stay. Keeps falling off, and it's one of those cheap ones that has the sticky stuff. Oh, rest in peace, Big Blue. Right? It's got the sticky stuff on the back, and it's like once you use it one time, it'll never stick again. So it's annoying as you know what. Oh my God, it's so annoying. So we'll just do it this way. And that's one thing I wish like crazy that they would do is make phone holders big enough for phones with cases on them and a pop socket. I mean, it's not rocket science. I can't believe they haven't done that yet. But anyway, it's Sunday. We're heading to work. So I don't know if you got to watch last night's podcast, Guitar Talking More. It was really cool, man. It was a great show. It had Jimmy Biter on there and Mr. Ted Fair. They come back again to appear on the show, which was really nice. And it was a great show. So if you haven't watched that yet, go back and check that out. And we're gaining a little momentum. It's nothing nothing fast. What was that, man? I think somebody put some paint in the road. I barely missed it. It looked like a big bucket of green paint sitting right on the white line of the road. Oh my God. We're slowly gaining momentum. That's what I was trying to say. And yeah, so if you're not subbed to the channel and you like guitar stuff and different vlogs as well, please consider subscribing, and we'd love to have you. And it's a good time. It's a gorgeous day out here, and the past couple of days have been just kind of doom and gloom. And I'm gonna tell you, what was it, Friday, all it did the whole day was just rain. We probably got a few inches out of it, I would imagine. I mean, it was just horrible. It was just, I had this truck really pretty and nice and shining, and I was coming home from work early Friday morning, and it started to drizzle, and I said, oh man, I knew it was going to rain, but I didn't know it was going to be like that. I thought it might be just a quick passing shower, and boy was I wrong. And so Little Red looking a little rough now. But oh well, it's an easy fix. It's a smaller vehicle, so it'll be easier to maintain, just like Sally's easy to maintain as far as, getting it washed up and dolled up and everything. So this won't be bad. And like I mentioned before, I may have, I don't know, maybe I didn't talk about it, but you can see this truck has a toolbox on it. And I kind of had a little bit of a debacle yesterday. So when I bought this truck, it did not have a key to the toolbox. And I did not, you have to pardon my ignorance here, I did not realize that Cobalt toolboxes were strictly from Lowe's. That's their deal. I didn't know that until yesterday. And look, I'm just going to be honest with you. The past few times I went to Lowe's, I had a bad customer experience. It was just, the Lowe's closest to the house. I'm not saying all of them are like that. Of course they're not. But man, the one here at the house, my past 3 visits there were just horrible. The people that I dealt with that worked there were just completely not very professional, let's just say. So my third attempt there a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I said, you know what? I'm never going back there again. That's not going to happen. So I went to the hardware store. I went here and there trying to find a way to get a key or maybe another locking mechanism or a lock for this toolbox. And it's easier said than done after looking into it. And I even had a guy come out from the hardware store and look at it. He goes, you need to move this whole section here where the lock is installed and everything else. And I just couldn't see doing that. These people are out here every Sunday waving you to come in and say free food for Jesus. Nice folks, man. I don't know them personally, but they're always out there waving and, you know, seem like nice people. But yeah, I just couldn't see taking that whole section out because it's held in by rivets and the guy said, you're going to have to drill these out and take this whole part out and this and that. And I was like, nah, man. So I even called a locksmith. And around here, I don't know if it's because it's the weekend or what it is, but around here, trying to get a hold of a locksmith is almost like an act of Congress. Everything goes through an answering service. And it reminds me of like if you're broke down in the rig at work and you call Penske roadside, you have to go through this. Well, it's automated, but you still have to go through an answering service and they connect you with a mechanic or whatever. Same kind of scenario here with the locksmith deal. Now, I've never called a locksmith before, so I can't base it on anything else, but it was a dude, man, and you know, it was kind of hard to understand him, you know, and so I was trying to explain to him. I said, look, I'm not locked out. I'm not in any dangerous situation. I just want to know how much would he charge to make a key for this toolbox for this lock. And it just went on and on. I need your location. What's the zip code? And where are you at? And how long are you going to be sitting there? And I said, dude, I just need a quote. So anyway, I gave him all the information. Well, I was right there in that little shopping strip mall and in town there. And my wife happened to be inside the grocery store. Of course, she came in her car because I had left the house before her to do a couple other things. And it just happened to be where we were at the same place or at the same time pretty much. And so I said, well, my wife's here. I'm going to go in the grocery store and wait for a call back from the locksmith. Never got a call back. And I told my wife, I said, I don't think a locksmith's going to come out for a small toolbox key. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I never got a call back. And I was Googling other locksmiths in the area, and I found one, and it went directly to the guy, the actual locksmith. And he said, oh, buddy, we don't do stuff like that. You have to call, I don't know, somebody else, I don't know. I said, okay. So I said, this is being more of a pain than what it should be. So I sat there and thought about it, and I said, look, it's my truck, you know. So I went to Ace Hardware and bought a latch to come with a bracket. I didn't use the latch part, but I did put the bracket on the corner of the toolbox, and I put a padlock on it. You know, I just fixed it where it worked for me. So now the toolbox is locked up. There's a reason for that. Now the guy at the other hardware store said, well, you really don't want to do that because it'll make the toolbox look tacky. And my thought was, what does it matter if it's my truck? You know, and it's not that I'm putting this in a car show or something like that, you know. And especially on Sundays, when I get to work and get to the parking lot, that car is going to sit there all day, all through the night till early the next morning, and nobody's going to be at the office. There's nobody at the shop. There's nobody that's going to be there whatsoever. So with that being said, I don't want to leave this box unlocked. I mean, I do have some tools in it. It's not expensive stuff, but it's still, they're my tools. And, you know, some other little items that I can't fit inside the cab of this truck because it's just, you know, as you can see, I got stuff for work and we're pretty much packed in, right? So now what I had in my head, I got it to, I was successful in completing that task, and now the toolbox is locked. And there's been people that has, let's just say, on the other side of the fence at work, at the parking lot, on the other side of that fence, there's some sketchy people, not all of them, but some. And it's been known that, especially on Sundays, somebody will come over there and mess with people's personal vehicles. It's happened to me where I had a couple of things in the back bed of Big Blue. It wasn't nothing expensive, nothing like that. It was a few things of, they were actually containers of antifreeze, but I'd already used the antifreeze, but I kept the containers and filled them up with water, because at that particular time, Big Blue, the water pump was needed to be changed. So I had extra jugs of water in those used coolant jugs, rather. I got off work early that next morning, and I just happened to look. I always look in the back of my truck, and I looked, and they were gone. I had 3 in there, and there was 1 left. So I can't prove that the people on the other side of the fence took it, but it's been known that, I've heard that they've actually come into the office there to use the restroom and use the sink to like take some kind of sponge bath or something. I mean, that's what I heard. And I was like, my God. So it's you don't want to leave anything on your vehicle unlocked. That's what I'm getting at. At work or anywhere. I mean, your car sits too long unattended. So you don't want to do that. I don't anyway. Okay, now we're on Highway 11. We just jumped on here. And this is the highway that I broke down on in Big Blue. I will show you the location where I was at, exactly where I was at. Now we're not close to it yet. It's going to take probably a good 10-15 minutes. So of course I'm not going to film that whole time, but and I'll show you. It should be right before I get to the fire station. Yeah, so it's a little ways up through there, but so as you can see, this is just a 2-lane back country road. I've talked about this road many times on this channel in the past, and there are 3 areas on this road where you do not have a signal. Well, I don't, and I guess depending on what carrier you have, but with me it's T-Mobile, and I don't never have an issue with T-Mobile. It's just this highway is unforgiving when it comes to a cell signal in certain areas. So why that has not been resolved yet is beyond me. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's been like that for many years. As you can see, Little Red, it come with this big touchscreen stereo, and I was kind of worried about it when I first saw it, because I was like, is that just a cheap stereo, or is it kind of a mid-tier or high grade? I had no idea. I haven't installed a stereo in a vehicle in many years. I usually just use my phone and go through the aux or Bluetooth and just listen to stuff that way. But I was really shocked. It's really not that bad. When I first got into this vehicle, of course I tested it out, and it sounded horrible in here. I was like, oh my God, man, I might have to change that out. But what was wrong was I went to the EQ setting, and the EQ has never been set in here. All the faders are in the middle all the way across. So the guy didn't even mess with it, or I don't guess he programmed it or nothing. The time was wrong. So I sat here for a few minutes one day last week and got the EQ set, and I paired it with my phone, and wow, what a difference that made. So for what it is, it sounds fine in here. It's not a high dollar audio system, but it's a lot better than what it was, because before it was like, I was like, wow, that sounds like crap, it was. But like I said, a little bit of tweaking, it's just fine. And I was like, that'll work. Sounds a lot better than what it did. You can see we're running right about 60 mile an hour, and we're in a 55 zone, and there is a line of traffic behind me. People think that Highway 11 is the Autobahn. They want to get out here and just go, 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 go. The only thing that I see, the only type of, I'll say motorcycle riders, is about the only type of driver I see that obeys the speed limit. Not that I obey it all the time either. I mean, sometimes I get a heavy foot, nothing crazy. I mean, you know, but motorcyclists out here, they just are out to cruise. So they'll go usually 55 on the money. But, you know, I like to go at least 60. I think everybody kind of shares that same opinion, I would imagine. But, yeah, there's cars behind me. They're on my tail, man. And it's like, you know, they're like, come on, man, let's go. So I'm not going to go real fast just to appease people behind me. I'm just not going to do it. When you have a CDL, you have to take stuff like that into consideration. That is a federal license, and they're not easy to get. So, you know, we all do stupid stuff. I know I have in the past. I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I'm far from that. But especially with driving, speeding, that is, you want to kind of watch out for stuff like that when you have a CDLs, because you get something like that against you, and when it's time for your CDLs to be renewed, they make you take the whole test, the whole written test over again. And those are 3 parts, and those are very difficult to pass. It was for me. Anybody else, it might be easy, but for me, it was tough. So that's why I do my best to have a clean driving record, because my license is my bread and butter, so to speak. Okay, if they're going to pass you, here's where they're going to pass you. And there goes one, right there. So you see what I'm running. He's out of here. So that's just an example. We got 2 more coming up really close behind me. But, you know, they can do what they want. That's fine. Actually, 3 more behind me. So I'll tell you, man, people are crazy. All right, we got one. He's coming. He's passing the guy behind me, and now he's going to pass me. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. And it's a solid line on our side. Golly. Got one more fella behind me. 2 more. I don't know. Let's see what they're going to do. They're kind of holding back. I think they got some sense, maybe. I don't know. There's that gorgeous view of that mountain. Wow, he just passed the truck in front of me. Wow. Oh, my God. But ain't that pretty, man? That is a gorgeous view. I know I've shown that quite a few times, but... Oh, here he comes. Here comes, look at this. Look at this. Wow. Man, are you kidding? And I have seen people that were hang gliding off there, man. It was very cool to see. I actually can see one up there, man, barely. There he is. Man, you can't see it. Rats, look over here. Look. See how they're getting their stuff? I guess this is where they land or get set up. I don't know. Oh, man, that would be so cool. I'd be too chicken to try it, but it looks like it'd be so cool. I think I'll just stick with flying the drones. I think that's good enough for me, right? No hang gliding. No thanks. No thanks. We should be getting close to the area where I was broke down. Let's see. There's the fire department right here. Right there. We just passed it. Just passed it. Because the fire department is right there. Yep. So it was right back there where I sat for almost 3 hours waiting on the tow truck. There's the fire department, and I know that was a quick. It's kind of different coming this direction because you're like things are kind of turned around, but that's where it was at. And that morning it was like 28 degrees. Now to some people they're like, that ain't nothing, man. But I'm gonna tell you, when you're a truck driver and you're inside the cab of a rig or any vehicle for, for your job, it's easy to, to get spoiled. You get comfortable with, well, let's just turn on the heat or let's just turn on the air. So sitting there that long at 28 degrees, it got cold inside Big Blue fast. And the only thing that really got me was my feet. My feet were, man, they felt like ice. And then when the guy finally showed up, he was loading up Big Blue on that rollback, and I was shivering. I mean, I had my jacket, and I was zipped up and all that stuff, man. Had the hood on, and it was cold. So I was glad that was over with. And I'm putting Big Blue on the market for sale, but I think I may have a buyer already. I'm waiting to see if it goes through all the way. The potential buyer reached out to me today, and so we're going to see how that works. And if so, that'll be great. I just need to get the rest of my stuff out of Big Blue and take it in the house, because I really don't have no room in here. But if he buys it, good riddance to Big Blue. It's been a great truck. He knows what's going on with the truck. I told him everything. I said everything's great on the truck. It just, the engine's locked up. It leaked oil on the side of the block and it ran dry. So it needs an engine. So he knows that. And so hopefully it comes through so I can get Big Blue out of the yard and get it out of here. And that's the last kind of thing it's not standing in my way, but pretty soon it's going to be time to start cutting grass, in about another 3 or 4 weeks, maybe, depending on Mother Nature. I mean, in this neck of the woods anyway. And grass is going to start getting green again in the yard, and we had a lot of rain these past few months, so that grass is going to grow big time. So it's going to get to that point where it's going to start sprouting up and get back into its regular cycle. So I need to get Big Blue out of there, man. Speaking of motorcyclists, yeah, man. So I have a decision that I need to make, and it's kind of a difficult decision. All right. So again, last night on the podcast, Talking Guitars and More, Jimmy Biter played a song by Dawkins, and not only did he play amazingly well, and it was fantastic, but his setup sounds amazing too. And I was just like, wow, that sounds fantastic, and I kind of already knew that, but to hear it firsthand, on the podcast was really nice. And so he talked about it a little bit. Again, if you like to hear more about that, go back and watch the podcast. But in a nutshell, he just kind of talked about what he's using. It's a Rodecaster Pro 2, I believe. And what blows my mind is you don't have to use a DAW for that. And my setups that I've always used have involved a DAW, and I don't know any other way, really. But so I started thinking last night. Even the German butcher said, "You're asking a lot of questions, man. Are you wanting to make a purchase?" And I said no. And at the time, no, I was just asking about the product. But I sat there and I thought about it, and I said, well, I do have some money to the side that I'm saving. I haven't reached my goal yet, but it's about halfway there, maybe a touch over halfway. But it's play money. It's for music stuff. It's not money for bills. That's separate, right? So I thought to myself, I said, man, okay, when I get to the point, my goal of my little savings, which again is not a lot of money, I can choose. And believe it or not, I was looking on Facebook the other night, and you know how you get the ads from all the different places. Well, I had one from Guitar Center pop up, and it had the Charvel San Dimas. It's used. I think it said it's in excellent condition, and it's like a lime green with a black pick guard, and the humbucker's green. The neck is maple. Man, And that thing looked sharp. I said, God, it reminds me of Steve Vai. Like when Steve Vai first got with David Lee Roth and he had that green guitar. It puts me in the mindset of that. But anyway, I love Charvel guitars. I have a few of them. I think 4. I think so. And so I love them, man. I love those guitars. The San Dimas models especially. They're amazing. And, you know, it's, I think it's 749. I don't know. You can tell by the pictures. I've already put the picture up. But, and I was like, wow, man. I said, so the Rodecaster 2, the Rodecaster Pro 2, is roughly about the same money. So we're looking at a difference of maybe, I don't know, just off the top of my head, 30 or 40 bucks, give or take, you know, cause of tax and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'll be able to choose one or the other. I can't get both, of course. There's no way. Well, there's a way. It could be done, but I don't want to put myself in that predicament. Believe me, I've been in a predicament where I had 3 guitar payments every month for, you know, quite a while until they got paid for. They were Wolfgang specials, the EVH ones. I had 3. I bought 3, man, like in a month, and you know, I set it up on payments through AMS, and I was like, uh-oh. So I kind of screwed myself on that deal, but that was a long time ago. So we're not doing that again. My wife wasn't happy about that neither. So okay, I said, okay, once I get my goal and my little savings there, I can choose either the Charvel or the Rodecaster Pro 2. Now, I'll tell you where I'm leaning towards. I'm leaning towards more on the Rodecaster side of things because, number one, I've always loved to chase great sound quality. That just sounds so awesome when you're doing a live deal. And I would love to have something that doesn't require a DAW. It would just, again, that just floors me. Just knowing that, I was like, wow, man. Also, it seems like if you went somewhere, I'm not saying that I would, but if you went on a trip or something and you wanted to take that along, I think it'd be easy to mess with. You just hook it up and just do your thing. You don't have to have all this other stuff, I wouldn't imagine. Again, I don't know. I've just seen pictures of it. I'm not sure how it would work. And on the flip side, the Charvel is amazing. Who doesn't love buying a guitar? I mean, oh my God, that's something that I'll never get tired of doing. But I love both facets of that. I love buying guitars and I love getting this little tech gear. I love both the best of both worlds, I guess, you know, for lack of a better term. I never get tired of that. So, but I am leaning more towards the Rodecaster Pro 2. And I think in the community you can get some help pretty quick to get up and running, so you're not dumbfounded, you know. But according to Jimmy Biter, it's very easy to get up and running with that. And so I would imagine if you have experience with a DAW and doing stuff like that, this should be pretty easy. I would imagine. I could be totally wrong, and you know, I could be a complete moron when it comes to it and say I don't know what's going on here, but. So I have a choice to make. It's like the Rodecaster Pro 2 or that Charvel. The Charvel, it's the only one that's at Guitar Center. And I don't know if it's at my Guitar Center or if it's at another location. It says Greenville when I pull it up, and I'm like, that's at my Guitar Center? Because if that's the case, it won't be there long. If, you know, unless I didn't look at something right. But... so I have a choice to make. I have something to really think about. I would love to hear y'all's opinion in the comment. I'm from the South, so I say y'all. I'd love to hear y'all's opinion in the comment section. Let me know what you think. What would you do? Because I think I'm leaning toward the, like I said, toward the road. But that Charvel looks nice, man. Charvel looks nice. So And, you know, to the average person, they say, well, you got plenty of guitars. You've got stuff to go live. You've already got that stuff set up. Why do you need either one of those? Because, man, it's what you do when you're a musician. It's what you do. It's you never, I will never, let me put it this way. I will never stop buying gear, whether it's the tech stuff, little tech geeky stuff, or guitars. I'll never stop doing that. Because it's my passion. It's what I love to do. That's like telling a fisherman that he can't buy another boat or another rod and reel or no more bait or nothing. He ain't going to listen to you. He's going to tell you to F off, right? It's not going to happen. But when it's your passion, man, you got to have tools for the trade, and you're always slowly upgrading. So, you know, the better the tools, the better the performance. I mean, you know, that's just how it is. All right, we're coming into the small town of Campobello now. And I will show you, if it's still there, I will show you a Black Ranger that's sitting up here at this little car lot. I want to say it's an older gentleman that has this property up here. He puts a few cars out and sells them. I think there's I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but I want to say I heard somebody say that if you sell cars, you can't have more than a certain amount, or you have to pay all this stuff to the state. I don't know, some kind of business thing. There it is right there. You can see the red. You can see the Black Ranger sitting right there for sale. Looks like an extended cab. And yeah, I was looking at that the other day before I got a little red here. And I said, I wonder what year model that is. Looks like it's, if I had to guess, I'd say the late 90s maybe. Something like that. We got the green light. So that's what I see that every day on the way to work, right there. And I say, well, if all else fails, I'll go talk to that gentleman. But it all worked out. I didn't have to do that. All right, after this long trek here on Highway 11, we're finally getting to the interstate. I-26, here we are. And during the week, this is pretty congested. But it's Sunday, so not bad. Not bad at all. As you can see, not a lot of action going on. That's okay. Let's get our signal going here and get ready. So now we got about just a touch over 10 minutes, and then we'll jump off and we'll be at work. Okay, now we're finally reaching our exit. Nobody coming over there, that's good. Alright. So we're going to jump off here. That sun's going to hit just right, probably. About another few minutes it will. It'll be getting lower on the horizon. And this is a sharp curve. It might not look like it. We got to make sure nobody's coming behind us there. These people, man, come on. Damn, he got off and getting right back on. I guess he... let's watch this guy right here in this Jeep. Couple of couple of vehicles. Let's see if they're paying attention to me. Yes, they are. All right, thank you very much. We're going to jump off here, and this is the old convenience store. Well, it used to be. This is the old property, and now they upgraded to this brand new convenience store, and it's called Swift Stop. And that's usually where I get fuel right here at work if I need it. And right now we're okay. We're at just right at 3/4 full, so I just fueled up the other day. You go that way to get, if we were to turn left here, that is, you go that way to go to the dairy. So we're not going there yet, but we will shortly. As soon as we get through this light and get on the frontage road, here we go. There used to be a Goodyear tire plant here years ago, man. I mean, it was an old plant. And of course, as you can see, there's nothing there now. But I remember it was there for years. And they just have it fenced up. I don't know what they're going to do with that property. I don't know. I'm surprised nobody hasn't bought it yet. But anyway, Looks awful cloudy down through there. Might not look like it on camera, but it does when you're looking with the naked eyes, they say. Is that even right? And then there's the interstate there. That is what is known as Business 85. So I got to get in the gate here, and we got to toss a bag of trash in the old dumpster. Thank God we got a truck again. As the saying goes, you don't know what you got till it's gone. So that week I didn't have a truck, and Sunday came around, and had to get here to work. I was like, man, I can't take no trash to work. I wasn't gonna put it in the back of my wife's car and drive it an hour here to get rid of it. There is no way I'd have done that. And whew, can you imagine the stench? That'd have been horrible. There's some dude walking around here on the property. I don't know if he's a mechanic on call or what. I don't know. Let's see if we can turn here and sneak in the back doors, they say. He's walking up through there. I don't know who that guy is. So I don't know, man. Dang. Is he going to see us? Is he going to say anything? It's going to be tight getting through here. Look at this. Yeah, man. You're not supposed to block all this up too much. You got to be able to get a rig through here. I don't think he's going to see me if I stay right in here, right? Let's see what we can do. Oh, man. It's not heavy either, so. You have to watch out around this dumpster, man. There's a lot of sharp objects that will go into your tires. That's why I stay over here, out of the way. Okay, we got that. That's good. People do that all the time, man. We got to find our truck. I wonder if anybody drove it over the weekend. So we're going to be over in here somewhere. See what I mean? I mean, there's nobody here because it's Sunday. I can tell by looking at the front of the truck. I got a big moose guard like this, but mine doesn't have the tag on it. That's how I know. There it is right there, see? Oh, wow, and there's a parking spot open right here. So that's me right there. It's been sitting in the same spot. I can tell that's where I parked it. I believe so anyway. That's what it seemed like. We'll find out. I always look at the fuel caps because when I put the fuel caps on, I have them lined up correctly where it says Freightliner. And usually when somebody gets fuel, they don't pay attention to that. They just put them on any old way. They'll be upside down. Technically, they're not upside down. It's just the word is upside down, and that's how I know. Little things like that. I look at the hoses on the back and see if they're hung up like they're supposed to. Some guys just get them all twisted. I'm talking about the air hoses on the back of the tractor. And just little things like that. We'll take a look here in just a second. All right, we just put our stuff in the rig, and I can tell somebody drove this truck, even though it is in the same spot where I parked it, which, you know, it's good because I like being under the spotlight there if at all possible. Just nice and lit up. And this is the one pole they did put new LED lights in. The rest of the lights on the property are really dim and dull, but for whatever reason they put them in here. So I'll show you how I can. It's easy to tell, but watch this. First of all, the fuel caps are the same. You see where it says Freightliner? So, and the other one is exact. So that tells me they probably did not put fuel in the tanks. They probably just drove the truck over the weekend and parked it. Another telltale sign, look, they did not hang the blue hose back on the coupling. It's just hanging down right there. All right. And look how dirty that is. You will not see my floorboard look like this when I get finished. And you see this. And when you get in here, you can smell smoke, leftover smoke, big time, like gold, black and mild or golden milds, whatever you want to call it. And of course, they logged in and they didn't take their number out of the computer when they logged out. So that is the quality of drivers we have at this place with some of the drivers. Not all are like this, but this guy here left me in a tobacco. So I'm going to have to, you know, clean this up. More than likely stop at the truck stop and fuel up, because I'm telling you, they ain't going to do it. Matter of fact, I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Let's give the guy the benefit of the doubt here. Let's put the key in and see. And we're going to look at this gauge right here. Nope, he did not. Look at that. Didn't do anything. So, that's what I'm talking about. That's what you deal with when you slip seat. So freaking annoying, man. Oh. So that just messes me up. I mean, thank God it's Sunday. You know, I came in a few minutes early, but that's why I come in a little early on Sunday, because of stuff like this. So anyway, and across the way over there on the other side of those tractors on the back side is the fence, and then you got the sketchy people that live over there. Not all of them, but it seems to be some. It is what it is. So thanks y'all for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I got a decision to make. I'd love to hear what you have to think about that in the comments. Don't forget, subscribe, man. Give us a thumbs up if you care. If you don't, you know, when I do see thumbs ups, I know people, they actually give a crap, you know, and it helps the channel. But, you know, it's up to you. Whether you do or not, it's up to you. I would appreciate it. Take care, everybody. See you next time around. Bye-bye.